Delgadillo remembers what her son, Scott, used to tell her on Mother's Day.
On Mother's Day, he would always say, "Sit down, today's your day, you don't do anything."
Carmen thinks about Scott every day, like clockwork. His smile, his kind nature, the way he always put others before himself. Scott Matthew Delgadillo died January 29, 2001 from leukemia at the young age of 14. He had been diagnosed just 1 year earlier.
I still can remember it like yesterday. I was told he had cancer, and I literally fell to my knees. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I didn't know how I was going to tell my 13-year-old son that he had leukemia. How could this be? We were fine yesterday, a couple days ago, and now you're telling me that my son has the #1 childhood killing disease of this country. And so it's devastating.
As Carmen struggled to live in a world void of her youngest son, she was approached by Scott's friends who had a request.
His friends came to me, they were freshmen, and they had just lost their friend, and they asked me, we'd like to start something in memory of Scott and do some of the things that we did for Scott, going to visit kids, doing some nice little gestures for the kids. We started off very small in our neighborhood with yard sales and little dinners at our church, and here we are 10 years later. So it was his friends, his 6 friends, that really had the idea. That's why we're the Friends of Scott Foundation.
The goal of the organization is to make life a little better for children with cancer and a little more normal for their families, a scenario Carmen knows all too well after the cruel reality of her son's disease affected her own family.
We were stunned. I noticed that my other son needed me because he didn't know why this was happening to his brother. How could this happen? I needed my family. I needed support from people here at Rady Children's Hospital to help us understand the road we were getting ready to walk.
The Friends of Scott Foundation also puts on events like the Unforgettable Prom, which takes kids with cancer away from their hospital rooms and onto a dance floor.
I think what I really like is that we're able to have special outings away from the hospital. So we give them an opportunity by taking them to baseball games, pizza parties. We have a prom every year. We'd have a bowling event. So those are some of the things we do. You see the kids, they're not thinking about cancer treatment or an IV pull or getting poked or here comes the doctor. They're thinking about having fun and going to a chocolate fountain or a candy table or eating pizza or dancing. That's what they're thinking about, and that's what they should be thinking about. So at our prom, we say this all the time, their diagnosis is checked at the door. They're here to have fun.
Carmen has a full-time job, and running this foundation is time-consuming. But she said she never really thinks about that.
It's taken a lot of effort, a lot of hard work, and a lot of dedication. And I just think about Scott and what we said to him and my promise I kept. He kept saying, "I'm not done here yet," and he's not. And I want to keep my promise to him. We would never, ever forget him.